Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Thursday edition. In Madison, Wisconsin's war on crime, the worst criminal offenders are judged by Jesse Nelson and a jury of 12 peers. These are their stories edition. Speaking of stories, I did write about Romeo Doubs. I would like to talk about him at some point today edition. And it may be Thursday. It may be we're celebrating the return of Jesse Nelson, but it's a Bryan Bulaga Thursday. He wasn't on yesterday, but he joins us today, and you know how much I love it when we have Bryan Bulaga on the show edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the all-new, all redesigned, all free, all customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay, and I'm standing too close to the camera. Jesse Nelson is back in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. We'll get to him in a moment. And from his undisclosed location. His location will be disclosed tomorrow because we will be together, reunited like Peaches and Herb, this time at the AmFam Championship as we do. I think we've done it every year. I don't think either one of us has missed one.
COVID year.
Well, there was no tournament, though, right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't miss any that were actually held. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Jesse, I yield the floor. I am going to yield my time to juror number 8, and I'm just going to let him go.
There we go. Now we're cooking.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, way to dress up. What did you wear to? You know what? I'll ask all my questions later. The floor is indeed yours.
I'm here. We made it. Hi. Where to even begin here? All right.
That's what happens when we just give you the floor.
Yep.
You have to make that decision.
I didn't expect it to be presented this way. Okay, so I'm back from jury duty. I know it has been much discussed during my time away. I was able to catch up on 1.5x speed listening on the ESPN Wisconsin app, so you guys sound a little bit like chipmunks. But it is nice to be able to listen to 3 hours of content in about an hour and a half of time. So that's
the
nice.
awkward long pauses are much shorter.
Yeah, it doesn't feel this. Yeah, it zooms pretty quick by. And then some of our music sounds funny when you do that at 1.5x speed. Okay, so I went in to the Dane County Courthouse on Monday morning.
All right, first off, Jesse.
Yeah.
Did you get a
floor
note?
It's not yours. It's Tausch's.
No, the floor is yours, but the letter, when did you know that you were going to have to go in?
I received the letter, I think it was like 60 days prior. Might have been a little bit less than that. I don't remember exactly. I had had
and
it
then
for
they text you, or what do they say
So-
to say you need to be in here Monday?
You receive a letter saying you've been summoned for jury duty. Here's the week that you're expected to be available. You'll receive further instruction, but please report to the courthouse at this time. Or you fill out a questionnaire online, and it gives some of your like what you do for a living, your marital stat, all that stuff. And then it says check back here the Friday after 4 p.m. the Friday before you're due to see if you need to report. And if you can't check online, you can call a number and they can tell you. So I checked back Friday afternoon, late last week. I didn't think I would be summoned. And sure enough, I was. And I needed to be there at 8:15, so I told you guys Friday afternoon last week. That's, didn't think it would happen, but here we are. So I went in, and I had no idea how any of this stuff worked. My dad had been summoned twice, but never actually had to go in. My mom never has. And I guess I've never had a close enough friend who has served to talk about it with them. So
Had Becca?
No.
Becca had never done it?
She had not. So this was new to everyone that is closest to me in my life. And so it was kind of a new experience. I knew generally what would happen, but not everything. So I went in.
All you knew was that you wanted to be chosen.
Oh, yeah. If you have to miss work, if you have to go in and do jury duty, I don't want to just go in there, sit for a couple of hours, and then they say, okay, never mind, go home. Like, I want the full experience. And boy, did I get it.
You got it.
I sure did. So I went in, check in. The first thing that happened was they didn't actually have my name on the list because I guess I didn't do my questionnaire in time. So that was a fiasco trying to figure that out if I was even supposed to be there. So I was already causing problems before anything.
Mm-hmm. That's on brand.
You get in, you check in, you sit around for an hour and a half doing absolutely nothing. I was literally in the corner of the room with I didn't bring headphones, so I had the YouTube stream up of your show on Monday, listening in my ear while nothing is happening. Everybody is just checking in at different times. And then someone walks in eventually. It's one of the bailiffs I learned later on, but I didn't know at the time. And
Barney Fife.
They walk in and they say, okay, here, I'm going to read you a series of names. If I call your name, come stand up here in the order in which I call your name, and then you're going to go up. So my name was called. I was, I think, 18th in the line of 30, 40 people. I don't know exactly how many it was.
Tier 2.
So I'm like, okay. And it's very awkward. You're standing in front of the room, just staring at everybody. Everybody's staring at you because there's nothing else to do. There's no TVs or anything. Like, some people brought, like, knitting stuff. A couple people had books to read. Most people are just scrolling on their phones doing nothing. Then they take us up to the top floor, which is where the courtroom is. And I had no idea we were just going into the courtroom right away. Like, I thought this was a whole thing where there's an interview room and you're kind of one-on-one. Like, I've seen the TV shows. Like, I thought that's how you pick the jury. But no, you just go in and the first 23 of you go and sit in the box. Like, it's supposed to seat, I think, 13. They had every seat, and then they had some folding chairs out, and they put 23 of us up there, and everybody's in there already. The attorneys, defendant, like, everybody's there, and it's go time. And they're like, okay, we're going to pick our jury right now. Okay. And then so you go through this entire process where they want to, like, strike 10 jurors. They go through and they review some of your qualifications based on what the specific case was. And so there were some people, and I want to set a ground rule for what we're going to talk about here, because there is some very entertaining stuff that's going to come up from this. But the subject matter of the case that I sat on, I know you guys were speculating what it would be. I do not wish to share what that was. It's a very sensitive subject matter that I don't think people are here to tune in for. So I would like to not share what the detail of the case specifically was.
Can you tell us what it wasn't, so people at least have some idea of what we're talking about?
It was not murder. It was not drunk driving, which I guess everyone wants it to be a murder case. It was not a murder case. And it
armed robbery, which was Tausch's guess.
Yeah, it was not
armed robbery.
None of you were correct, and whatever you thought it was, it's worse.
Can I just say it's it's probably the most disgusting stuff that you could do.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and I think we can leave it there. So they ask a series of the judge asks a series of questions about what your qualifications are. Some of it was more generic, like here's the subject matter. Does anybody have past experience directly, like personally related to this subject matter that you don't believe you to be able to review this case fairly?
Oh, so you learn right then what the general charges.
Yes, you don't know specifics, but he generally says this is the subject matter. Like this is going to come up.
And you did, just so people know, you did tell us we're respecting your choice not to share what that crime was. But was there any part of you when you heard that you were like, I'm out?
I mean, we knew it was going to be disgusting. We knew it was going to be terrible.
Okay.
But again, like and the judge even acknowledged, like everybody knows this is going to be awful. That's why the question was very specific to personal past experiences, because nobody wants to sit in for this. So the judge asks a series of questions, and then the prosecution and the defense attorney get to step up and ask questions as they work to strike jurors down from 23 down to 13, which they're like literally, we learned this later, they literally do that right there. There's no like behind doors discussion of it and debate. Like they're just marking down, taking notes as you're answering questions, seeing your like physical reactions to questions and things, and like that's how they're deciding it.
Yeah.
So the defense attorney steps up after the prosecution's asking a series of questions about just, it's kind of a personal, like almost lighthearted conversation in a way where they're talking about using, technology and stuff like that would be related to the case. So the defense attorney steps up and he asks a couple of questions about some qualifications of a few of the people who are sitting on the jury. And then he's reviewing some notes and he says, and I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget it from Monday afternoon. Is this the Jesse I listen to on the radio every day with Jason Wilde and Mark Tauscher?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut your mouth! That's unbelievable. Are you serious?
Yep. The defense attorney, big fan of Wilde and Tausch. Big fan. Found out
my God.
Found out later on he was listening on Friday when I first brought up after Tausch had gone out on the links at University Ridge that I was reporting for jury duty potentially on Monday. And he said he talked to his wife over the weekend and said, I hope I get Jesse Nelson from Wilde and Tausch on my jury.
Oh, my God.
Can I just interrupt briefly and praise you for keeping this under your hat and delivering it the way you just did? Outstanding work. There's no way I could have kept that under wraps until now. Your delivery, impeccable.
We were told when we left the courthouse on Monday we were not to discuss any specifics of the case until it was over, and then everything was fair game. So I shared that with you guys, and believe me, sitting on that for 3 days has been very tough. So I said, when he says, is this the Jesse I listen to with Wilde and Tausch every day, my response in the courtroom in front of everybody, the gallery, the 23 jurors, the judge, the defendant, and everyone was, yes, thanks for tuning in.
Did you make sure everybody knew the podcast links?
I was this close to saying yes, and thanks for tuning in and subscribe on the new ESPN Wisconsin app. I did not say it, but I really wanted to.
Okay.
Every fiber of my being wanted to do that, but I did not. I kept it short. He followed up with another question after that, and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget this for Monday. Do you feel working with those guys every day prepares you for this? So, in the Dane County Courthouse, Monday, approximately 10 a.m.-ish, while you guys were talking whatever, I was answering a question in front of a judge, a jury, and everybody about working with you two, qualifying me to sit on a jury for a court case.
What are the odds? Like, how many defense attorneys are there? What are the chances?
My response was,
You know what?
Well,
I think they're better
yeah.
than you think. I do.
Well, we're that popular?
Yes.
you think we're better than we think?
Well, we're more popular than we realize,
We're very
I
popular.
think.
Believe me, we're very popular. And I believe we have 12 people that may be tuning in for the first time today to hear all about this first couple of segments. More on that in a little bit.
Babe, Jesse.
Yeah.
Babe.
More on that in a little bit. So how would you have answered the question on the record in front of the entire courtroom? Does working with you two prepare me for jury analysis or whatever you want to call what a juror does?
If I may, in one word, abso-blank-and-lutely. Yes.
So how did you answer it?
My response was, yes, they both can have pretty strong opinions, so I often find myself moderating some of our big debates.
Really good answer. Really good. I would have put you on the jury too. So wait, so after I have so many questions.
And we haven't even gotten to the trial yet. We haven't gotten to any. This was all Monday before 11 a.m. in the selection process. Yeah.
Was there, given the rapport that you suddenly had with the defense attorney, did you sense that the prosecutor
Great question.
was thinking, we got to get this joker off the jury because he's already got a connection with the defense attorney?
So I'll admit, I've never shared what Becca does for a living, and I don't intend to. But based on her line of work and based on my line of work, and say what you will about being a local celebrity or whatever.
Sure.
Jokes aside, being a public figure and being acknowledged as one in the jury selection process, I continued to think there's no chance I'm sitting on this jury. I'm very clearly going to be dismissed.
Given your concerns about going out in public after you've been working in the yard, I do want to know, how did you present yourself from a fashion standpoint? Since now you're going to be thinking all the time that you're hot stuff, and everywhere you go, people are recognizing you like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. How did you dress for this?
They did say dress comfortably. You don't need to be in like suit and tie for this prod. They want us comfortable because it's a long, you're sitting and not doing much but listening. So they said be comfortable. So I went polo and dress shorts and comfortable shoes. And that was my selection all 3 days. That's what I wore at the courthouse. And I felt pretty good about it. Everyone was in kind of a similar fashion sense, I'd say. That was golf attire, I would say, would be appropriate. Yes, so kind of worst case scenario for me when he calls me out in front of the entire, because one of the things that I was kind of hoping for if I was to do this was anonymity.
Yeah.
I don't even use, Jesse Nelson is not my real name. Everybody knows that. I think it's well documented on this show. So to be called out as the Jesse I listen to every day on Wilde and Tausch in front of the entire courtroom and the gallery of jurors was shocking. And then I thought, okay, well, I guess we got to own this now. So here we are. Yep. So we proceeded.
This is amazing.
Yep. So congratulations to you guys and to all of us at ESPN Wisconsin for our show and our content being acknowledged at the Dane County Courthouse on Monday afternoon. Good job by us.
Take that, Jim, Matt, and Molly, and your Madison Magazine nomination. We're well known in the courthouse.
So they did call to go behind closed doors for a brief moment to talk about something in the jury selection process. They come back. They say, okay, when we call your name, stand up. And I was one of the names that stood up. And I thought, okay, this means I'm out. And they said, congratulations.
Right.
Thank you for the 12 or the 13 of you who are standing. You are our jury for this trial. The rest of you seated may leave. And I thought, crap. Here we are. So
you didn't think, crap. You loved it. You wanted in. What are you talking about?
I didn't think I would be in, given how that selection process had gone in the line of questioning, and the defense attorney being a big fan of the
Jesse,
show.
Was the district attorney as pleasant with you, or would they not acknowledge you?
So,
how did that play?
I do want to. So when Jason asked, did I think that I would, whatever you asked about the defense attorney knowing who I was.
Yeah.
As the case went on, I actually thought there might actually be the opposite happening. I think because he was familiar with me, he thought maybe there could be some targeting here with some of the case presented, that if he could convince one juror that his defendant was not guilty, that maybe that would end up being the verdict. And so I think he, knowing, listening to our show and knowing who I was, part of me thought, and he never said this, and maybe it's an accusation to say so, I don't know.
Boy.
Maybe
Better be careful.
Well, no, but wait a minute.
Maybe he thought it would be advantageous to have me on that jury.
Wait, not the prosecutor.
No, the defense attorney. That listens to the show.
That's not what I asked.
Yeah.
Right. What we asked was, do you think the prosecutor, seeing that interplay, thought exactly what you're saying, that maybe you'd be more open to the defense attorney's arguments because he's a fan of this wildly popular radio program? Because it only takes one holdout to get a hung jury.
Yep.
And not a verdict.
Apparently not, because I didn't get
right,
struck.
I would have objected to your ass.
Yeah.
I'd have gotten you out of there so quick it's not even funny.
There we were.
Jason's been cussing a lot more lately.
Yeah, I have been.
All right, Jesse, continue.
Damn it.
I'm looking at the clock. It is 9:22, and we have Bryan Bulaga coming up. This went a lot longer than I thought.
Finish setting the stage, and then we'll get into more of the experience later in the show.
So we went behind closed door. Well, actually, no, we stayed in the court. I'm sorry, we stayed in the courtroom first, and they said this trial is expected. It will begin at 9:30 on Tuesday morning. It's expected to be a 2-day trial. Plan accordingly. Deliberation will take place on Wednesday. If you have any plans Wednesday evening, or if you need to make arrangements for your pets or your children or anyone you take care of to be provided for, make sure you do so. We don't know what time you'll be out of here on Wednesday. So at that point, it was like, okay, this is real. We are doing this. I am on the jury for a trial that is expected to be a 2-day event. And I told you guys that. I said, I can't talk about anything more. And they said, you are not to talk about this case publicly in any way except to say the judge has said you can't talk about it publicly. And
especially you, Nelson.
There we were. And then the case began on Tuesday.
That's a tease right there. We will get back to Jesse's journey through the judicial system after Tausch tells us about Pella and after we talk to Bryan Bulaga, who's scheduled to appear coming up in a little while.
Indeed. Time to upgrade your windows and or doors, but you don't want to spend a fortune? Well, Pella is the best in the industry and has a product line for every budget. And right now, you get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments for up to 2 years later. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends at the end of June. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
More Wilde and Tausch, especially if you're working as a lawyer and enjoy our program. We'll have more for you.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I want the defense attorney to call in today. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know if he's working, he or she. I don't know. I want them calling in.
All I'll say is if you want me to reach out, I have a direct line.
And you have somebody to defend you next time you commit a crime. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Medicine present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
Pablo Iglesias here at Middleton High School for the Zimbrick Honda Game Changers of the Month, and we're recognizing two schools who are bitter rivals, but Middleton and Sun Prairie East are putting their differences aside for a cause greater than them. This is the Cardinals Striking Out Cancer event, where over $200,000 has collectively been raised over the years for a great cause. We talk with the coaches and so many more for this great event in the Madison area.
We've raised an enormous amount of money for the American Family Children's Hospital, and that goes to speak to it. We have people just today walking around the building that putting their kids through school, and they're like, hey, thanks for sending out the link to donate. I'm happy I could help make a difference, and I'm happy that you guys are putting this on. It's important, and it's important work because everyone's affected, whether you're ready for it or not. It does affect people.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube to see the full interview with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Alexander burying a three. The Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The finals. Coverage of Game 1 begins tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm under oath. There is nothing we do on this show, and we do a lot of really cool stuff, and I love my job. But there's nothing I look forward to more each week than having Bryan Bulaga on the show. And he's on next. But I kind of don't want to talk to him. I kind of want to keep going on Jesse's story through the judicial system. But we will hold off. We will get to Bryan. He's going to join us. But speaking of the judicial system, if you have been injured and you need representation, you need the best of the business. Jesse knows firsthand now how important it is to have a good lawyer, preferably one that supports the show, and one who definitely supports the show is David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices. He listens in his office. Jesse's new buddy, the defense attorney, he's a big fan listening in his office. And we're big fans of Gruber Law Offices. They've been with us from the beginning. And more importantly, if you're ever injured, and hopefully you never are, but if you are, you got to make the call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. We need to make a call to Bryan Bulaga. He joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Jim Rutledge from Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team for the third year in a row. Help us win it all this year and vote every day this month at madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Bryan Bulaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Surfside. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's light, refreshing, and has zero bubbles. It's perfect for a day on the golf course or a day at American Family Field. Cheers to Surfside.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah,
I do. We take a break from Jesse's journey through the judicial system to talk to a guy that by any judgment is one of the best things we do on this show is our conversations with him. It is our friend Bryan Bulaga in his vehicle.
Oh, look at you in his rig.
On Wilde and Tausch. What is that? One of those big Sprinter vans like Mason Crosby drives with the 17 kids in it, or something a little smaller?
Something a little. I mean, it's just a 2500 GMC, a little smaller than the Sprinter van, a little smaller than that.
Okay.
Big old diesel truck. You know.
I don't want to ask you where you are or what you're doing, but I'm going to anyway. What do you got going on today? Because you're not usually in your vehicle for us. Yeah,
you're right. You're correct. I'm at my son's soccer training. It goes for about 45 minutes longer, so I'm just hanging out here.
We'll use up all that time for you. Watching him do his thing.
Yeah, so I'm just hanging out here because, like, you know, he's got a double today. So, like, the training's tonight, and obviously I have the Homer hour later this evening, so I won't be able to go to that. So Abby will take him this evening, so I take the morning shift. So that's the way, things work out in the Bulaga household when there's
Blue,
double days.
Double days.
If you, and I know you're going to say whatever your kid, his passion leads, but if you could pick and that your youngster could be a pro, like go Manchester United or play for the Green Bay Packers, you only get one. Which sport would you want him to play?
Well, I would never want him to go to Manchester United. Never
City.
would go to United. He'd go to City.
City, whatever, yeah.
It's not
to be honest with you. Yeah, to be honest, I it's a tough question because obviously my passion for football and American football, that is, and what it gave to me and to our family and how much I love the game. But I don't know, his body type and the way he's built. I don't know if American football is going to be for him. I don't know if it's going to work out for him that way. And how much he enjoys soccer and how he's growing in this sport. I'm going to say, football. I'm going to say that for him because I think that's a game that he's starting to love and enjoy, and he's taking a real passion to it, and he enjoys doing it. So I'm going to say that.
All right.
Because it just seems like it's grown on him, and he loves doing it. He's always got a ball at his feet. He'll get done with this and go out back and kick the ball in the backyard for another hour. And he's got another practice tonight. So it's just something he loves doing, and as long as he likes doing it, we'll continue to let him do it and help him do it and support him in it.
So, Bryan, you said something there that I've heard Tausch say too, and we've had a lot of fun this morning talking about Jesse's experience as a juror. We're going to get back to that. But you did say, that what football has given you and the life that you and Abby and the kids have and the life that Tausch and Sarah and the kids have. But, Tausch is gimping around on his bad knee all the time. We worry about CTE for you guys. Is there part of you that you just feel like, and that I'm not saying that there's not injuries in soccer, and there aren't concussions in soccer, there are, but as a dad, is there a preference for you also because you know that the toll that American football takes on you, or is that not part of your equation?
Well, it's certainly a part of my equation, at least for me personally. And
Right.
maybe it is for me because it's for me and maybe Tausch too. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Tausch on it, but it's position specific, right? Like I know what, us guys up front go through, and I know what the grind is day to day. And I know that's different for guys through different positions, right? It's different for what a quarterback goes through and what a receiver goes through, what a DB goes, it's different for everyone. But I certainly know what I went through and how I felt and what I experienced on a day to day. And, genetically, I would imagine if my son did grow into his body and he did, fill out, he would probably end up being somewhat of an offensive lineman body. And I know what that feels like. And it's a rough path to go down. I'll put it that way. Listen, it's very rewarding if you're good at it. It's very rewarding. And, you can benefit from it greatly, like I have, and like Tausch has, and a lot of guys do. It's very difficult, but it's very rewarding. But there is a price to pay. There is a price to pay later on. I experience it now, and I'm 36. I'm sure there'll be more prices to pay as I get older, but that's part of it. You look out for your kids' well-being and what they may experience down the line, and you don't want them to have the same exact thing. Maybe they can do something that won't be as painful as what you went through, maybe. But again, you got to let them make their own choices and where they want to go with it. And, and that's not saying guys can't get badly injured playing soccer. They certainly can. I mean, I've seen some nasty injuries, but I don't know if the grind is as bad as I would say football is on a day-to-day for offensive linemen. Let's say that.
And usually they're pretending to be injured, too.
A lot of the time.
Soccer.
Yeah.
All right, Blue, so you've obviously been consuming the coverage of the first two OTA practices. I'm just curious from your reading and listening and being in conversations across our shows, what is kind of top of mind for you? What have you been thinking the most about? I'm assuming, generally speaking, you start at the offensive line and then spread out from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always that was my biggest, kind of topic going into this whole thing, right? I mean, I think I've talked about it with you a bunch. I've talked about it on this show a bunch, on my show a bunch, is which way are they going to go with this thing, right? Like, how is this going to work itself out through OTAs? And I get OTAs is kind of a precursor to what camp is, and it's kind of like a feel-out period, and it's kind of get your feet wet type period. But it still shows something, right? Like, it still gives us a little sign of what they're thinking going into camp. So to me, yeah, it does give me a little glimpse of what the staff is thinking and how, the reps are being dealt early on in OTAs. And to me, that's, what they're thinking. Now, I'm not saying that's how it's going to be decided once they get into camp, because obviously the camp reps are how this thing's going to play out and how the eventual, joint practices, that's all going to be how this gets decided eventually. But I'm very intrigued with how the O-line play is going on. And obviously the left tackle battle is, to me, and you may look at it different, Jason, but I think the left tackle battle is, when we look at this thing as a whole, is probably the battle, right? Like, if we thought it could be a big right guard battle. I don't know if it's going to be that unless, again, Sheed takes this battle really early again, right? And unless he wins it early again, and then Morgan goes back to the right guard spot and it becomes a battle at right guard again. But again, we won't know that until training camp, I don't think. So, and obviously the center position with Elton not being there, that's a whole nother can of worms that we can't really get into unless Elton doesn't show up to camp. So that's a whole nother thing.
So based on the reps we've seen in the 2 practices in 11 on 11, which, isn't even full speed most of the time, and then they go full speed in the 2-minute drill, it is clear that, as he should be, Rasheed Walker is the incumbent, and Jordan Morgan is the challenger. And so when they go out there, their starting 5 when they begin an 11 on 11 period from left to right is Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Jacob Monk in for Elton, Sean Ryan, and Zach Tom. Now, what I would say is the only time that someone has been subbed out for this competition has been when Jordan Morgan gets some work in Sheed's place at left tackle. The only other time that there's a change is when they move Sean Ryan to center and then Jordan Morgan works at the right guard spot. So he's the number 2 at both of those spots, working to try and win one of those jobs. But those are the 6 guys that are getting first team reps at the 2 practices we've seen. Anthony Belton, I have seen him play inside and outside, but it has always been with the 2s. He has not gotten, from what I've seen, unless I missed it, I have not seen him get a single rep with the number 1s in Zach Tom's
Jason, how's
place.
he looking? Is he nimble? He's obviously a big dude, 6'6".
He's a very big dude.
Is he nimble?
I would say, unlike when I first laid eyes on Christian Watson and I said he looked wiry, or as you like to say, spindly, he's big. He's undeniably big, but not like, I guess the way he was being advertised to us, I was thinking he was going to look more like, was it Caleb Jones that they had? That was like 6'7" and like 370. He's not like, he doesn't look out of place big. And when I watch him in the drill work because I like to, you know me, I love a good offensive lineman. I spent a lot of time around them. I'm not built like one, as Matt LaFleur will be happy to discuss my physique publicly. But when I watch Luke Butkus put them through drills, I don't look at him and go, at Belton and go, wow, he's got great feet. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have good feet or anything like that, but like there are certain.
You just said one thing and then you said I'm not saying that. What? You're Nelson in this. Are you saying he's got good feet or not?
So when you only have the individual drill work stuff and some partial speed 11 on 11, I don't think it's fair for me to. I'd just be faking it. Yeah, no, he's got great feet. Oh, he's like a dancing bear out there. Nothing. He has done nothing to this point where I was like, wow, he's got really good feet. Whereas, and look, I'm not here to glaze you, but like it was pretty clear right away that one of the things that you had as a rookie was really good feet. Like it was noticeable.
Okay, Jordan Morgan, do you say that about his feet? Because I think he's got good feet.
Yeah, again, I would say that I have more evidence of that, though, right? Like, I watched him in training camp with pads on. I know he had the shoulder injury eventually, but, like, I was able to see him, for example, maybe get beat off the first step and then recover because he has good feet to be in position, right? And I just don't have anything to go on with Belton. I actually have chosen, when they're 2-spotting, to go down to the other end to watch all the guys that aren't with the 1s, because I'm more curious about those guys. I feel like I kind of know what the guys that are with the 1s are about. I mean, Matthew Golden is there. He's new to that group. Aaron Banks is there. But overall, it's all at the other end of the field where I'm seeing guys that I don't know much about.
How does Monk look? Does Monk look like he's like on point with all his communication, with his movements?
Nimble?
Does everything... Yeah.
He's got great feet. God, does he have great feet?
I hope he...
Well, how am I supposed to
know?
I can't make any observations about that. Great insight, Jason.
You're welcome. if you stood next to me with your, what would you say, 1,000 times more football knowledge than I have? Because it's not like I have zero.
I'd probably go higher than that.
Of course you would. But if you were standing there watching these practices, I got news for you, buddy. They're not super terrific great for making observations. And anybody who is kind of fudging the data a little bit. Like these are not, I would say that these are not high quality test cases, right?
Okay. It's not the OTAs of old, is it? It's not the OTAs of old where it was full go.
like exactly. Like there's nobody turning like Jeff Saturday to the beat guys and saying, "Does that look like non-contact to you guys?" Like it's non-contact. Like they're playing patty cake.
That's classic. Yeah.
So I will say this: looking at Jacob Monk, and he is in no way in this guy's class yet. But the guy, the guy that he is similar to in stature, and the way I would argue he has to play because of this, is more like Scotty Wells.
Oh, boy.
Right? And Scott Wells was a fantastic center, but he wasn't like Josh Myers is like 6'5". Like the first thing you notice when they break the huddle right now is that the dude at center is shorter than everybody else by a meaningful margin. And that's how it was back then. Look, I mean, Blue, you and Scotty are good buddies, but let's be honest, you could have posted him up all day. He would have beaten you in wrestling, but he was a squattier guy. But he was all about leverage. So until they put the pads on and we see what Jacob Monk does against Kenny Clark or Devontae Wyatt by getting low man wins, victories over them, I mean, again, I don't think they want him to be their starting center. And if something changes, then we'll have a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they wanted to be starting center as of right now with the way they've made Elton. They want Elton to be the starting center. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see it.
I don't think they
we'll
want
find
that.
out if they want Elton to be the starting center, right? We're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. We sure will.
Blue,
I mean, is it...
I just want to tease this out because I want to ask you.
Oh, the big teaser.
What would you advise? Because you got the mandatory minicamp coming up, and there's fines that come with that. Everything else has been voluntary. So Bryan Bulaga, who is a smart cat, what would you, Elton Jenkins calls you and says, Blue, I don't know what to do here, man. I got no guaranteed money left. They're asking me to move a spot to center. I want to play center, but I don't want to do it at this. I'm going to get Bryan Bulaga's answer after I tell you about our favorite week in the American Family Insurance Championship back at Madison with two new exciting changes this year. Steve Stricker hosts the PGA Tour Champions event June 6th through the 8th at its new home golf course, the TPC Wisconsin. AmFam Champ also debuts a new team competition this year. Two-person teams will compete in a best ball and scramble format. They got the celebrity foursome on Saturday. I'm excited. Megan Maroney, she's kind of a star. Sold out. I don't even know if there's any tickets left. I'm not sure. If it is, it's sparse. It is one of the hottest acts going that we're excited. They're going to be at Bree Stevens. I'll be there. I'm going to make a great Friday of it down at the AmFam Champ. You should too. Head on down. Details and ticket information are at amfamchampionship.com. And, of course, Jason and I, and we don't know if Jesse will be out there tomorrow morning for our show.
More Bryan Bulaga next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A heated rematch, Wisconsin-BYU squaring off November 21st, a grudge match of last season's adrenaline-filled round of 32 showdown. The face-off happening in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center, home of the Utah Jazz. Greg Gard calling that last meeting, quote, one of the best in the NCAA tournament. 2 games for Bucky on NBA courts next season. They'll face Oklahoma at Fiserv Forum for an October 24th exhibition. 2 great tests for Gard and the Badgers well before Big Ten play. Ticket info and more available at uwbadgers.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP SmartSide Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right, you want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous.
Continuing with Bryan Bulaga, live for parking lot at the local soccer pitch. Tausch, you teased it. The floor now, instead of being Jesse's, is yours.
All right. Yeah. So, Brian, I'm going to be Elton. You be Brian. So, hey, Blue, man. How are you doing? Been great seeing you at the tailgate tour last year. Had a great time hanging out. And
if you were
I'm not going to lie to you,
Elton,
Blue.
is this how you would start your call? You would ask him how you're doing and then not let him answer?
All right. Why don't you be Elton?
Don't pout.
come
Come on. If you're doing role playing, you got to do it.
Yeah. I'm great. I'm doing great. Elton, how are you, man? I mean, it's great to talk to you. I see you're in a little bit of
Thanks
a
for not
pickle.
being
What's
a jerk,
going on, man?
Brian, thanks for not being a jerk like the rest of these J-wads. All right, can you tell me what I should do moving forward here?
I'll tell you what you should do.
Bud, Bud, like I think I think you're in a little bit of a tough spot, but like I understand where you're coming from, but I think with this situation, you lost already around $500,000. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Can I borrow some from you?
Each
you got to. Can you give me 500?
No. Okay. No, I can't.
I know you got that big orange grove, and you're probably printing cash with those oranges and donkeys. You can't throw me $500K.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have that NFL revenue coming in anymore, bud. I don't have that $14.8 million salary coming in anymore. Never had it either. So just to be clear, but I just think for your sake and to show good faith, right? To show good faith, I think you should just show up. But I don't think you should participate in this mini camp. I think you should show up. Show that you do want to be back. You want to be around the team, but I don't think you should participate. Save yourself the fines. Don't incur any fines, but be around the team. Show that you want to be back. Show that you want to be part of this team in 2025. But withhold services still withhold services, but do not get fined. And that's what I think you should do.
Brian, we've had talks. They're not going well. I'm not getting the guarantees that I'm hoping for. So, yeah, I was actually thinking be good faith. I agree. I am going to come up. I'm going to do that. But then when training camp, should I take any meaningful snaps in training camp if I don't get some guarantees moving forward?
In training camp, I don't think I would take any meaningful snaps until you do either. I think you continue to do the same thing. If I were you, I would show up. I'd continue to do the same thing, just the hold in. Because, I don't think it's worth getting fined and having that look on you, right? I don't like that negative outlook on the player because that's how it's going to be spun on you. You're going to have that portrayed on you, and there's no one that knows that better than Jason, right? Like how this gets spun on the player. It always gets spun back on the player. If he's not there, he's the greedy one. He's already getting this much money. He should be happy with what he has. I would say just show up and just don't take any meaningful snaps. Protect yourself and have your agent continue to work on this thing until you guys find a happy medium. And that's where you have to go. You have to continue to push it until something happens, because it has to happen.
I guess we're done play acting. So what if we push it further? Is there the danger? And look, I bring this up uncomfortably, but I have not forgotten 2016. I have not forgotten Josh Sitton, who had been to like 3 Pro Bowls, unceremoniously being dumped. Hey, we'll just go without him, right? And I know, I don't think Elton is in the, and I say this with nothing but respect for Josh, but the stories that those of us on the outside heard, he was not quiet about how unhappy he was that he did not get an extension going into that season. And that may have factored into the decision that was made to move on from him. I don't think you can say that about Elton. But if he were to push the envelope, and look, let's be honest, if they were to say, fine, forget you, we'll just go with Jacob Monk and Sean Ryan and what we got, it's all good. There would be a line around the block for him. It would be, in my opinion, a colossal mistake.
Detroit would be happier than a clam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, let's replace Frank Ragnow with you. Sounds like a good idea. And you can play your former team twice a year. So I guess my question is how far can he push it, and how far can the team push it? Like, again, I don't want to bash Jacob Monk, but I have no idea if he's any good or not. And if you're as good as you think you are, the chart, the FA-FO chart, I don't think you should FA with Elton Jenkins. If you want your quarterback to stay healthy and productive, and you want Josh Jacobs to run the football productively, and you realigned your entire offensive line, assuming that this guy was going to be your center, frankly, I don't understand why they didn't just say, look, we're going to guarantee this percentage of what exists on your contract. We're going to add a void year to spread it out a little bit. But we don't want to make a commitment beyond 2026, but we need to get your cap number down. We know we want you. I'm surprised that they didn't solve this already. And that's what makes me wonder what the end game. I don't want to have the blinders on to say, well, Elton Jenkins is so good, they have to have him on their team. They have to do something to placate him. Because maybe they won't. Like, I think that's a low percentage. But do we have to at least acknowledge that possibility, or am I being a Chicken Little here?
I mean, to me, like, regardless of the position change, right? Like, I get they're moving him to a position. Obviously, they have a lot of confidence in him to move him to a position that technically he has not played before, right? But I think really the only sample size you need is what happened in the playoff game last year, right? Like, the guy leaves the game, and the game for the offense, literally, it's gone.
What the hell?
I mean, it's gone. It's gone. Like, the offensive line can't perform. They can't block. Jordan Love's under duress in about 1.5 seconds every play. And, like, that's what happened. And I get you signed a new guard, but now what you did now is you open a void at center. And this isn't a knock on Monk, because we don't know anything about Jacob Monk, right?
Correct.
He didn't go in the game when Elton left the game. So, like, we don't know anything about him based off last year. So, like, it's not a judgment on him. We just don't know anything about him. So, for the Packers, I don't know how much they can push it, because you're right. If they do, and they do release him, the line will be around the block for Elton, because Elton is a very good player, and he's not even 30 yet. So, like, yes. And guess what? Teams will pay him to play guard. They will pay him to play center. Some may even pay him to potentially play tackle. It doesn't matter. So, like, he will make a lot of money if they release him. So, like, it could work in his favor any which way. Like, to me, Jason, what you said makes the absolute most sense. Just add a void year, guarantee a percentage, and, like, just figure this thing out and, like, move on with it. Like, just move on with it, and don't make this an issue going into camp. It's just it seems so meaningless to make this a story, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. He's a leader on the team. Like, he's one of the veteran leaders on the team. He's a guy you want in that O-line room and on the offense. He's one of the veteran guys on the offense. If you look at a young team, a young offense, he's one of the oldest guys on the offense. Like, you want him there, and he's not there, which to me is an issue. So I don't see a scenario where he's not on the team. I just don't see it happening. I think they get it done. I think there's a little standoff happening right now. Obviously, we don't know the specifics of the talks, but there's a little standoff right now because they know they each have time. But I don't think it's going to get pushed too far into camp. I don't see that. There's no way. There's no need for it.
It makes no sense. There's nothing about any of this. You're not saying go ahead and give him a 5-year extension.
Right.
Sprinkle some guarantees, spread it out like Jason said, and just move on with your life. If you want, you can get out of it after this year. And I think Elton, if he's going to get a little sweetener compared to what he was going to get, the fact that he has no guarantees left, this is the time when you're making a switch and your team is banking on you making that switch, time to make a move. No doubt about it.
Yep. All right, Blue, one last thing before we let you go, before practice ends. I wrote about Romeo Doubs. We talked to him earlier in the week. He did not want to talk about his concussions and whether doctors had expressed any long-term concerns. He was obviously reluctant to revisit his going AWOL leading into the 5th game of the season last year. He said I'm just here to be a ball player. If you were, and I won't do any play acting here, but if you're the Packers and you're trying to figure out what this guy's future is, are you open to the idea that if he has a big season that you want to pay him a second contract? Or are you just saying, I'm going to get everything I can out of him? I just drafted Golden. I just drafted Savion Williams. Great. He's got to put his head down and work, and somebody else is going to pay him, and we're going to get a compensatory pick for him.
Yeah, I think, like, listen, and this is me obviously wanting the best for Doubs, right? Like, and this from a health standpoint, this from a financial standpoint, and a career standpoint. But I'm just answering the question, and I think I don't see a scenario where they do extend him based off their moves in the draft, right? Like, if they would have done something different in the draft, right? Like, if they wouldn't have taken a receiver in 1 and 3. Okay, maybe they do extend him if he plays really well, right? Like, maybe they do. But they did take a receiver in 1 and 3. So, like, I don't see that happening, right? Because they're obviously going to extend one of these guys, right? Like, I mean, I know they got a couple coming up in this year and then next year. So someone, out of these guys, someone's going to get extended. I just don't know if it's going to be him. Based on what happened last year and the concussions, I hope he does play really well, so he does get paid and he does have a successful career and he gets everything he wants out of football. But knowing how Green Bay does risk reward and how they do things, I'm just not sure they're going to do it. Like, I just don't see them going down that road, right? And I'm sure Matt and everyone's going to be super positive about how he is and what he's doing, and they want him to just put his head down and work. But like, I just don't know if once someone does something like that they're going to reward him financially. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, I just haven't seen that ever happen in Green Bay. First of all, I've never seen it happen in Green Bay in my time there. In 10 years, I never saw someone not, show up. So, like, I can't say that was something I've ever seen. But I've never seen even if a guy was repeatedly late or was just missing, or like, that they got rewarded financially, right? Like, it just wasn't something that Green Bay does. They're an organization that is pretty by the book with these things, right? Unless you're like the quarterback, or even the quarterbacks aren't ever late. They're normally the first ones in the building. But unless you're some freak show, right? Like, I mean, you are an absolute freak show that is producing at a level that no one can speak of, they're probably not rewarding you financially. And that's probably what's going to happen here. So I hope he plays as well as possible, obviously, for Green Bay's sake and for his sake. But I think their moves this year in the draft kind of is writing on the wall. And that's the way it is. And everyone everyone should know throughout their time, as they're playing, should see what happens in rooms as they're playing, right? Like, everyone has to see the writing on the wall as they're players, right? Like, okay, I'm going into my final year. What just happened? Oh, they drafted a guy in the 1st and 3rd round. What does that normally mean? Okay, that normally means no matter how I play, they're probably moving on. So I better play really well so that I can go somewhere else. Like, that's right. I mean, it's very simple the way you have to look at it. But, Simple answer for me.
He's going to make a good Charger next year. Brian, I hope Declan's practice was a success. I will talk to you later today on the Homer Hour. Drive home safely.
All right, guys, take it easy.
That is Bryan Bulaga from soccer practice. Tausch, I know I'll see you in person tomorrow, and I'm guessing afterward when you're hanging out with everybody at the AmFam Championship, there'll be a Coors Light or two that'll be had.
I would certainly hope so, and whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, or at a golf tournament, you just need a moment to chill. Crack open a Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with that 3-step cold process. Cold lager, cold filtered, and cold package, so it is made to chill. That's why it is always Coors Light in my hand when I am chilling. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. No Brewers game today. The Brewers off after winning 9-1 in the series finale yesterday afternoon over the Cincinnati Reds. They take 2 of 3 in Cincinnati. The Crews won 9 of their last 10 games, matching a high water mark for the season. 5 games over 500 at 34-29. Good day to check the standings. The Brewers a half game back of the Cardinals for the second spot in the NL Central. 5 back of the first place Chicago Cubs. Don't worry, 3 games coming up with them in a couple of weeks here. Brewers Padres over the weekend at American Family Field. 7:10 first pitch tomorrow night here on Madison's home of the Brewers. 100.5 ESPN. Tonight, the NBA Finals take center stage on ESPN Radio. Thunder and Pacers Game 1. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30. Tip at 7:30 right here on Madison's home of the NBA Finals. 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app. Football, plenty going on up in Titletown. OTA practice open to the media earlier this week. What's the latest on Romeo Doubs and his involvement in the Packers offense this year? Rob Domowski at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, thanks to Bryan Bulaga. We always love talking to him. But he did interrupt the tour through the judicial system. And I feel as though the vast majority of our fan base, not everyone, I've seen a few YouTube comments, are enjoying Jesse's sharing his experience. So for those of you that aren't, this is a democracy and you have been outvoted by a landslide, from what I can gather. So Jesse, what's next in the story time with juror number 8 hit parade?
So for the record, I am happy to share I was juror number 11 of the 13. Juror number 11.
What tier is that?
All jurors are created equal, except for the alternate, which I want to talk about for a second before we get to the rest of this. So the alternate system sucks.
Sucks to be you.
And I heard Don in Sun Prairie called in with his story yesterday. I was able to listen back on the podcast on the ESPN Wisconsin app at 1.5x speed, so I could get through it quickly. So what you do, there are 13 jurors, and in some trials, we learned later on that there can even be more alternates. They can have like 16 people sitting up there. But then the alternate is not someone predetermined before the trial begins. The alternate is not determined until everything has been heard through the closing statements. And then right before the jury goes to deliberate, the judge, and our situation yesterday, I don't know if this is the case in every courtroom in America, they literally have a bingo ball selector. Like the little iron thing that comes in the little bingo package that you buy to play.
I-24.
Yes, one of those. They have, so numbers 1 through 13 are in that thing. And he says, okay.
In that thing.
And we're going to go deliberate. Before we do so, we're going to draw this number. And he draws the number, and in our case, I forgot what.
Quick question, Jesse,
Yeah.
if I may.
Mhm.
The foreman or foreperson cannot be one of the alternates, correct?
The foreperson is not determined until the alternate is dismissed. So we don't know who
What do
the
you mean? No.
No, we don't know.
What happens if somebody gets
No.
sick? Isn't that the whole reason there's an alternate?
Yes, that's why the alternate, and that's why they don't determine who the alternate is ahead of time, because they want everyone to be there, and then in case there's a family emergency, someone gets sick, whatever the case is, they would be able to remove the one person, and then you still have 12 who are on your jury.
So you're telling me that you could have been the alternate the whole time?
Yes, and I actually thought for content, what would have been best case scenario for me would have been to miss 3 days of this show, going to jury duty, and then in the end, not even deliberate and just pack my bags and
Like
go
Don
home
in
right
Sun
before.
Prairie.
Yes.
Yeah, just the boot.
For the sake of content, that may have been best case scenario. I was not selected as the alternate. The person who was selected as the alternate did not enjoy being selected as the alternate, and I don't blame that person. Because
I don't either.
You sit through a court case for, and again, I won't share the subject matter that we were part of.
Unpleasant.
Very unpleasant subject matter. You sit through all that. You listen to it. You're paying attention. You're doing this. You're missing days of work. You're away from your family. Whatever your case is for why you're there. And then in the end, it ultimately, it feels like it doesn't matter because you just go home. And you don't get to talk about it with anybody. Brutal. Absolutely brutal, the alternate process. So I'm thankful I wasn't selected as the alternate, although I thought it would have made for good content. Okay. So I guess that's that portion of things I wanted to make sure. That was not something I was familiar with, so I wanted to share that for everybody who has never experienced this before.
Plenty more to come from Jesse's experience at the courthouse, including I am curious about the eating situation, because you did share a photo of yourself with the leftover pizza from the jury room. Or maybe it's even a video where you were. I think you did a great job of promoting the show as you went through that process.
Well,
but I am curious about how they fed you, and I want to know more about the inner workings of it. But I also want to get to some of the other better stories that you have to share. So we'll get to those coming up. And look, if you're like Jesse, and you've been on a jury for the last several days, you want to get caught up on the show, go to the ESPN Wisconsin app. All new, all redesigned, all free. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. It is the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app is available in both the Apple and Android app stores. So go download it today. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. More from Jesse's jurisprudence experience next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Live the high life at Nitty Gritty, home of the famous Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Celebrate your birthday at Nitty Gritty and receive a free memento birthday mug to fill with free beer, specialty birthday cocktails, or soda all day long. The Nitty Gritty has celebrated almost 900,000 birthdays, and birthday celebrant number 900,000 will receive a $1,000 Amex gift card. Grab some friends and celebrate your birthday at the Nitty Gritty, located in Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty Gritty, a tradition since 1968.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Continuing with Jesse's story of being a juror. All right, Jesse, I know we want to get to some more Packers conversation, but...
And for the record, it was not my intention to do this all show long.
I know, but we had a lot. We talked a lot of football with Bulaga, so we're trying to serve both audiences, and we'll get back to more Packers conversation, but let's get a little more of a feel for the highlights of your experience, then we can take a break from it for a while again.
Shockingly great food at the Dane County Courthouse. Shockingly. Great breakfast sandwiches, great coffee.
Is it the same food? This might be a dumb question, but shouldn't it be similar to prison food? The jury duty food?
I don't think so, right?
Why?
Well, why are we punishing jurors?
Yeah,
we're not punishing. I don't think you're it's not like you're punishing prisoners with the food, right?
Well,
Am I crazy?
Shawshank, he takes he takes like a worm out and he feeds
the
it to
one movie,
his bird.
The one movie, the guy got a steak from one of the great steakhouses, and he ended up using the T-bone to shiv the dude. But I don't think that there's...
What movie is that?
I don't...
Con Air?
No, but it's something like that.
If you're going to use Con Air as your reference point.
Jamie Foxx is in it.
Any Given Sunday?
No, and the dude builds
Spider-Man
this underground
2.
railroad. I don't want to spoil it, but he ends up killing
Spoiler alert.
Jamie Foxx and I don't remember the other actor.
Is Nicolas Cage in it?
No, but it's a Nicolas Cage type clone. All right, continue.
All right.
So yeah, they had a great sandwiches that they provide, or they didn't provide. We had to go buy them, but it was good. They said
law-abiding citizen. Thank you, Timmy Cleary.
Oh yeah,
law-abiding citizen.
I was just gonna. If you search Jamie Foxx prison movie, you get Just Mercy and Law-Abiding Citizen.
And
who's the actor? Who's the guy that shivved him with the T-bone steak, with the bone? What's that guy's name?
Well, have Timmy text that to you while Jesse tells
Tim,
the
if
story.
you got it.
A lot to follow
Tim,
up
if
on
you got
here
it,
today.
let me know. All right.
So yes, then when we did the jury deliberation after we had heard all the things from the case, they did provide pizza for us. I advocated for Pizza Hut. Unfortunately, they went
Gerard
with
Butler.
someone else.
Yeah. Gerard Butler is the name.
Gerard Butler.
So Jesse, before you get into the deliberations, did you take notes? Like, what was the actual process? Because we had discussions, and it sounds like you couldn't.
So yes, they provide you a notebook. And you are allowed to take notes, not during the opening and closing arguments, statements, whatever you call that, but during all of when the evidence and the witnesses are on the stand and all that, you are allowed to take as many notes as you want. And then the notebooks are brought back to the deliberation room. And then when you're done, you rip all the pages out of your notebook, you throw them away, they are destroyed. So you don't.
Why?
Oh. Yep. So you can take.
Why can't you keep them? What if there's an appeal?
Don't know.
What are we doing here?
Then it's an
There's
entirely
an appeal.
new
You
case.
wouldn't be on the jury.
Yeah,
They'd have a new jury.
Right. Like, my job is done.
So
all the 12, 13 jurors, our jobs are done. Everything's destroyed. It's over.
You're telling me OJ's juror had to dump all their stuff? They had to write a book from memory?
Yep.
I don't buy that for a minute.
Well, all
right, continue.
I can't speak that the rules were the same in the 90s, but I can speak to what they were yesterday, and that is the case. So, yeah, they... It was shockingly similar to what you see on TV and in the movies. That's what stood out to me. There's a lot more showmanship than I expected in being a attorney. Definitely.
Give me an example. What does that mean?
So like when you're an actor, Tausch, you did a lot of headlines last year for us.
I have.
Acting.
Well, no, and I also was in 60-yard line.
I think there's acting
available on Peacock right now.
There's acting, and then there's some overacting, and you can kind of see when a point is made, someone sitting on the bench might go, "Oh," and it's a very "Oh, that's interesting," and
is that attorney looking at you guys in the jury box when they do that?
A little bit. I think they know you're a lawyer. But you're also kind of on stage at the same time because you're presenting a case. So you're trying to be persuasive and convincing. And so I do think there's an element of entertainment in a way, showmanship that goes into being in that role and questioning people and all that. So that stood out to me. How it's not just about the facts and everything. There's definitely this element of showmanship to try and persuade the jury one way or the
Jesse,
other.
Okay, so there's some theatrics. Was there one point you got the evidence, and again, we're not going to go over what the case was, but did you have a not predetermined, but did you, after hearing it, did you have ideas like, this is some disgusting
guilty.
blank, this guy's guilty? Was there any moment that you really got doubt put into your head or reaffirmed what your initial thought was during the case?
Definitely. I did not have a preconceived notion. I knew nothing about it or anything. And by the way, like, I saw there was one tweet that came in during the show here. I saw this. This was very serious, and like, we're having fun because they called out our show and everything. And the actual case and the responsibility itself, I do want to confirm. Like, I took that very seriously. Like, this isn't. We know this is someone's life who is at stake.
I felt
here.
like that went without saying, but apparently you need to say it for one person.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to say.
I agree. I agree.
You know, we're not making fun of the judicial system. Well, I'm not making fun of the judicial. I don't know if you guys are.
Well, with your theatrics, I'm expecting you to go to law school next.
So I did not go in with any preconceived notion, and I would say we wouldn't be there if there was, black and white, he did it or he didn't do it. So it was.
That's definitely not true.
Well,
continue.
There was a very good.
I agree. If people say they're not guilty, they get to go to court, Jesse. They could be guiltier than sin, but they can say they're not, and they're going to go to court. But continue.
There were very good cases made on both sides, and it was not 100% concrete one way or the other. A deliberation and discussion was needed for us to come to the verdict we decided. I'll say that.
Okay, what was the moment? What was the moment that you knew you were going to vote whatever way you voted?
When the judge spoke to us just before we went back for deliberation, and he said, and this is part of the instructions they read to you, you are making your choice, and if you choose guilty or if you choose not guilty, what you need to consider is the evidence and the case made beyond reasonable doubt.
I've heard that,
and I've heard that before too, but I never weighed it with the same magnitude until you're actually doing it. But when you're considering all the things, like, was there, could you hypothetically come up with a situation where he didn't do it? Yes, but ultimately, was the evidence there beyond reasonable doubt that he was guilty? And the verdict that our jury came to was, yes, he was guilty.
How quickly did you get it done?
Thank you.
So it's kind of like a casino. There's no clocks in the deliberation room.
I never expected the comp to be...
Is the oxygen as pumped up as a casino does?
And I put $10 on the Pacers to make it to the finals right before I deliberated.
I am dropping a hundo on Jordan Love next when we go down to Rockford.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. I saw 25 or 30 to 1. Love that. All right, continue, Jesse.
Nice. I'll join you on that. So we had a nice window with a great view of the lake. Best view in all the jury rooms anywhere, I'd say.
Like you've been to other jury rooms.
I mean, if I'd put it up against any, Jason.
I'm not 100% sure. What are we doing in Madison? I don't know if we should be having lakefront vistage with that. I think we could probably, but that's another
gorgeous.
story.
It was raining on Tuesday.
And good food on top of it.
Fantastic, yeah. By the way, at the courthouse, like, it's open to the public. You got to go through like weapons screening when you go, but you can go there for lunch. You can go there for breakfast. So, like, it's open to anybody. So, highly recommend.
After breakfast.
We heard closing arguments. I saw on the clock when we left, it was around 11 o'clock, and I believe we were back in the courtroom around 2 o'clock. So it was 2 to 3 hours deliberation done. We had a 30-minute lunch break, and then they had to call everybody back. They had to call everybody back to get in. So
sounds like a lot of lunches and a lot of sitting around.
You got to have a well-nourished jury, Tausch. You got to take care of us. Yeah.
Do you think the defendant knew that he was going to be guilty?
He was cooked.
Hard to tell. You try to read body language. It's not easy sometimes.
Anthony Belton got good feet. I don't know. Did the defendant look guilty? I don't know. All right.
How did he react?
Not much visible reaction, I would say. Not much visible reaction.
He didn't shout.
How about the attorney?
You got it wrong.
Same. Not much visible reaction
You got
from.
it wrong.
And quite frankly, I was looking around, and I think a lot of when you're in that, it's kind of awkward because what's going to happen and they don't, and so I was trying to watch the prosecution and the defense to see how they responded to this stuff, if it's outrages in the movies and whatnot, and that wasn't the case. Everyone was very straightforward, this is what happened, and then they hear that so not much reaction from either side. And then what was cool was afterwards, and this will be the end of it, afterwards the judge came back, once everything was done, came back and spoke to anyone who wanted to stick around from the jury. And he thanked us for our service.
And, of course, you weren't going to go to work, so you stayed.
Yeah, no way I'm coming back here at 3 o'clock, so I stayed around for a bit. We had to ask some...
Or 11 o'clock.
We got to ask some questions of the judge. He was the judge who also oversaw probably the most prominent court case in Madison in the last couple of years. I'll let you figure out what that is. But it was kind of interesting to hear, his experience sitting on that case and other questions we had about some of the process. And then after he was done, he said that the defense attorney asked if he could come back and speak with us, and would we be open to that? And
get Jesse's autograph.
The majority of us said yes. And then he came back, and we got to ask him some questions about the clients that he represents and things like that. Just getting to know
not about the
system.
Case itself.
Not particularly.
Did we get it? We got it right, didn't we?
No,
you wouldn't say that?
No, and there was none of that. It was more about his line of work. He's a public defender.
It's like a post-game presser.
Yeah,
it's a post-game
it really
presser.
It was the post-game presser, and I think
is it hard to defend someone you know is guilty?
Yeah, that was one of the. And that question was asked, but his response was very interesting in that he doesn't know. If the people he's representing are guilty, or if he knows they're guilty, he's probably not going to be representing them. But what I thought stood out was he said that when you have a public defender, and God bless the public defenders and what they do, because that is a tough job, and
totally agree with that.
They travel all around the state, and it's crazy. So what he said is what he does is he defends the Constitution, and the Constitution says innocent until proven guilty. And so he's there not necessarily representing an individual client. He's there representing to make sure that the system goes correctly. And that was, you hear that in textbooks, you hear that in class, you hear that in whatever. But then to actually experience it and go through it, it means more that way. So ultimately, people have asked me, was this fun? My answer is no. It was fulfilling and it was enriching, but I don't think it was fun. I wouldn't say that, except for the part where he called out our show in the selection. That was fun.
Fulfilling and enriching.
So when are you eligible? The judge, if the judge likes our show,
I did not ask the judge if he would subscribe to our podcast. I should have done that. I apologize.
That is a missed opportunity.
He said, judging Jacob Monk, I haven't listened to your show enough to know if you guys are good or not, and I would not want to pass judgments without all the facts of the case.
Very kind. Judge was very kind. Bailiff was incredible. She had jokes for us all the time, and I think especially because of the case that we were hearing, it was nice to have a lighthearted, some lighthearted stuff going on outside of the courtroom.
I feel like I'd be a good bailiff.
It's mostly escorting and knowing the process, and then if stuff gets real, being able to step in, and it's kind of like.
I think I'm going to be a bailiff.
I think there's some. I don't want to discredit.
With your knee,
I think he could do it.
I can get that.
With your knee,
I could still.
You got to be quick in moments. You got to be quick in moments.
I'm going to promise you this. I'll take you down.
Got good feet.
I can guarantee you that.
Selective speed. I think there's similarities to being a bouncer.
Does a bailiff have a gun on him?
I don't know.
Pretty sure they do.
You don't know. You just spent 3 days with a bailiff that you said you loved.
I never looked. I didn't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm focused on a lot of other things.
Too busy listening to her jokes.
I think
she gave me a few new pirate ones.
What do you call a judge?
I might become a new bailiff. I'm gonna. You know what? I want to sail and I want to be a bailiff. I just found 2 new things I want to do. I'm gonna be a bailiff sailor. That's what I want to do.
Court bailiffs, according to Google, do carry guns.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So,
Was the bailiff like cracking jokes, or what was so great about this bailiff?
She was very nice to us. She instructed us on what was happening. She was informative. She was lighthearted when needed. She was serious when needed. Very helpful. Went and got us some stuff when we were requesting. Especially as we reviewed the evidence, there was a particular moment where people needed some extra stuff, and she was on it.
Do you do an early vote, like right when you get back in, like in the movies, and was it 11-1 or was it 12-0, but we want to continue to work through the process?
We discussed first, then voted. So we were not unanimous when we went back.
Blind ballot or raise your hand?
Blind
ballot?
Vocal going around the table. So yes or no going around the table out loud. We didn't.
Was it 12-0?
It was not the first time we did it.
Wow.
Wow. Were you guilty or innocent the first time?
I said guilty the first time. Also, I was not the foreperson, which you probably would have heard that I was already if I
yes.
had been.
So. Oh, I'm sure we would.
Yeah. There were multiple people who wanted to be the foreperson, so I said that's okay. I don't want it that bad, so I stepped back. So,
do you think you would have been better?
No, our foreperson had been the foreperson on 2 other cases. So we had a very
experienced foreperson.
Yes, we had the Aaron Rodgers of 4 people. Maybe that's not a good. I don't know. Never mind. We had a very experienced foreperson, someone that you don't get that lucky oftentimes to have someone with that kind of experience.
So you could be that next foreperson.
Has this person been on? Is this normal? Are there people that are on? Are there just professional jury people?
There are not. They pay you, but
it's a
not
third
enough to make a living.
Third foremanship seems crazy to me.
As many MVPs as Brett Favre has. So do you want to do it again? And when are you once again eligible? And does this make you more or less likely to serve again because of the rave reviews you received as a juror?
I am okay.
Like the pizza.
I am okay taking a long hiatus before I would ever do this again. I would do it again. It was valuable. It was, important. Highly, I would advocate for you to go into, if you're ever selected to do it, to go into it with an open mind and know how important it is. I think, especially given our case matter, I would say I am very comfortable taking a break from doing this, maybe forever. But doing it once was very valuable, and I did enjoy, as best you could, I suppose, the experience that it was.
Yeah, I'm out,
Jerry.
Enjoyed it. I'm out. I don't want to. I hope if I get called again, I've had it twice now, and then I didn't have to actually go. I hope my luck continues. So, thank you. I say this sincerely, Jesse. Thank you for your service. I still can't believe the public defender is a huge fan of the show.
Big fan.
I am blown away by that.
He may have trivia questions for us in the coming weeks.
Oh, would that be great?
Lenny's
if today's
legal trivia
isn't legal based, if it's not Perry Mason or Matlock or something of that ilk, I'm going to be very.
Oh no, he wants to do geography trivia. He's a public defender. He travels all around the state. He knows his Wisconsin geography.
Oh, he
as
wants
good
to
as
be
anybody.
contested.
No, he wants to provide us geography trivia questions. So it would be.
I'm sorry.
Well,
no,
we are happy with him doing that, but I also want him to provide us with legalese.
Yes,
a
exactly.
legalese question,
exactly.
set of questions too.
So I want to know how hard they'll be too. Like how much of
Habeas
Westlaw do I have
corpus.
to know? Exactly. Voir dire. All right. That has been Jesse's tour through the judicial system. We thank him for his service and for his storytelling. And we thank Steinhoffels for their partnership from the very beginning of this show as we come up on our 9th anniversary. And we know nothing beats a great night's sleep on a beauty rest from Steinhoffels. Right now, you'll get a free foundation when you buy a Beauty Rest Black or World Class mattress. Queen mattresses start at just $30 a month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing. And with Steinhoffels 110% price guarantee, 120-night sleep guarantee, and free delivery, you cannot make a mistake. So don't overpay for a good night's sleep. Shop Steinhoffels in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Jim Rutledge here. It's officially camping season, which means I will be using my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. What does that mean? It means it's a customized buying experience. If you're an expert and you know what you want, they're happy to let you take the lead. And if you have a ton of questions, Aaron, Tyler, and the whole team at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb will make sure they can answer them all. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison, dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. ESPN Madison Open also brought to you by Badgerland Exteriors, Annex Wealth Management, Sunday Paper, Incredible Bank, Vorikov Osman LLC, and Retirement Income Strategies.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt, dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories forever. Oh, I remember.
I knew this was going to happen. I did not know it was going to be last week's trivia winner who would be the person who has been or at least knows about being a bailiff. So let's welcome him in so he can give Tausch the crash course in bailiffing. It is Mike and Franklin. All rise. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Thank you for the win last week. I got off the schneid.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, I just was going to give Tausch, just like I could not go in right now today and be a right tackle in the NFL. Tausch just can't go in and be a bailiff. It doesn't work like that. But I guess I was in law enforcement for 24 years, and then I worked with the U.S. Marshals for 4 years, so actually 28 years combined. I've done bailiffing with the U.S. Marshals, and I was a lead detective on several cases where we did voir dire. And so, but the Milwaukee Circuit Court, it's the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department that does that. So it's trained law enforcement that does that. If something goes awry, they have to wrestle with a guy or shoot a guy or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't happen in court, but that could be a possibility. So that's why they have trained law enforcement for that. And then with the U.S. Marshals, they have retired cops that all do that job. They don't not just somebody off the street.
So you were like Tommy Lee Jones.
I wouldn't go that far, but I had some major cases, and I'll tell you what Jesse's saying regarding the notes. And when I was a bailiff for the U.S. Marshals, we collect all the notes at the end, and then they just destroy them.
Wow.
It was kind of and as a detective, it was kind of neat because I got to be in on the voir dire selection with the attorneys, and we kind of picked the jury. So that was kind of fun, I guess, in that respect.
So Jesse was, and understandably so, when he explained to us what the case was. But I would be curious, and I'm going to take a little bit of a serious turn here. You obviously have to investigate some pretty heinous stuff. How do you compartmentalize that? Like again, and Jesse's. We're not going to talk about the case that Jesse actually had, but like when he said what it was about, like I was sick to my stomach just thinking about if I had to sit on that jury. And you're the one investigating people like this during your career. How do you compartmentalize that stuff?
It's not easy, and I'll tell you, it's hard not to take some of that stuff home with you.
Yeah.
Just not to get gross or whatever, but we had one case where a gal drowned her baby in the toilet, and it's like, I waited 38 years to be a dad, and I can't imagine somebody could do something like that. But this is the kind of stuff you dealt with day in, day out. So I've been retired 11 years now. I'm playing radio shows.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being loyal to our show. That's for sure.
I have a question, if I may, Mike. So
bailiff.
Sure.
Bailiffs you can't just be a bailiff. Like, you have to be an investigator. Like, it's not just, I'm going to go into court, I'm going to escort people in, and I'm going to destroy notes. Like, that's not what
Well, you're serious
there's
about
more
this.
to it.
You want to know what it's going to take for you to be a bailiff.
I mean, there's still time for you, Tausch. You can go back and get certified in law enforcement. Unfortunately,
I don't want to go through all that. I just want to be the bailiff.
I can't be an NFL right tackle. I wish I could, but
that's fair. Okay, I just wanted to get an understanding.
No, I know. I'm giving you the business because normally 90% of the time I agree with you. This time it says a little bit. I just want to give you my 2 cents on that.
Fair. So you'll never.
So just like Newman
becoming a banker.
There you go.
You will never get to live out your dream.
I have a question for Tausch real quick. Tausch, were you guys in Florida in 2011, like November-ish? I could have swore I saw you. You were a couple seats behind me at the Disney stuff. But
Where were you in November 2011?
Just wait. You're asking me. You're asking me. I don't even remember being out at the golf course on Monday. You're asking me where I was in November of 2011?
It was around 11/11/11.
Mike?
So somewhere in those.
Mike.
Hey, I'm telling you, you ask old girl, and she's going to tell you guys were on vacation in Florida.
All right, I'll text her.
Telling you.
I'll text the old girl and find out. So just wait. November of 2011, we were in Florida.
Yeah.
Is there a certain part of Florida?
Disney.
We were down in Disney. Whatever. Yeah. And
Maybe it was Jack.
Max would have been a year. Max would have been about a year old. I don't believe that. I know we went down there when he was probably 4 or 5. Maybe I'll be wrong. And Mike, if I am, I will let you know on air that we were down there. But I don't know at this point.
You know what it was? It was when the Packers were undefeated. I think they they were like 11-0 or something. Because it was in November. It was when they hadn't lost the game yet, and then shortly after that,
that would have been 11.
That's great.
So
that was the season they should have won another championship. But
let me tell you guys something. As a detective, if you don't have a good memory, you're in trouble. And
that's why I'm not a detective.
Hey, you know what? Then the defense attorneys would say, hey, that's on the middle of page 11. And you could tell they're pretty frustrated. They're going, how is this guy with average intelligence outsmarting me? It was fun.
Well, they're also questioning your ability to identify people as a witness, because this probably wasn't Tausch. Might have been Jack Black.
It was either Tausch. Yeah, it was either Tausch or Jack Black. I couldn't tell which.
There you go.
Well, there we go.
All right, Mike, we appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
So what I just learned from Mike, I ain't going to be no bailiff. Like, that ain't happening.
Well, you could if you chose to go through the process of
I'm not going to do that.
Certification in law enforcement.
Could I do psychology without going through the process, but with my knowledge?
Dime store psychology.
Could I start a psychological shop and just have people come in?
A psychological shop? Is that what you just said?
But yeah, where people can just come and talk, and I'm not giving you. I'm just giving you advice, like life advice.
Psychology shop.
Can you do that, or is that?
We're offering 2-for-1 sessions.
You're taking out
and a free bike.
You're kind of discrediting bailiffs and psychiatrists today.
Nobody's discrediting anybody.
You can just do a pop-up and just do both of these things.
Pop-up psychology office.
I legitimately believe that if people came in and laid down on a couch, I could help them. I believe that. And I have no scientific degree. I have no psychological degree. None. I thought about it. I didn't. But I do think I could do that.
I believe that you believe that.
Okay.
And I believe that Associated Bank is where you want to be if you want great customer service and Packers checking, Brewers checking, or Badgers checking. They've got them all. But, again, the most important thing is that they've got the best customer service in the industry, and they've got the awards to prove it. So whether you're looking for early pay, or you're looking for better fraud protection, or you're looking for credit monitoring, well, guess what? You get them all and then some from Associated Bank. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We're not done with the 10 o'clock hour just yet. Barney Fife and I continue. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Help us take home the gold and vote for us every day at MadisonMagazine.com/BOM.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Steinhoffels and get a free foundation when you buy a Beauty Rest Black or World Class mattress. Queens start at $30 per month with Steinhoffels 60-month financing. Wisconsin BYU squaring off November 21st, a grudge match of last season's adrenaline-filled round of 32 showdown. The face-off happening in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center, home of the Utah Jazz. Greg Gard calling that last meeting, quote, one of the best in the NCAA tournament. 2 games for Bucky on NBA courts next season. They'll face Oklahoma at Fiserv Forum for an October 24th exhibition. 2 great tests for Gard and the Badgers well before Big Ten play. Ticket info and more available at uwbadgers.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
This fall, build your perfect Wisconsin football game day with a mini pack. Pick any 3 games, including Big Ten matchups like Washington, Iowa, and Ohio State, and save while cheering on the Badgers. Big matchups, big moments, and it's all on your schedule. Football mini packs are available now. Create your custom game day experience today at uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. First touchdown to the 5th quarter. There's always something to enjoy. Football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
This is Matt Hamilton from Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Help us take home the gold and vote for us every day at madisonmagazine.com/BOM.
All right, we got some other things we want to get to in the 11 o'clock hour, so let's put a bow on Jesse's trip through the Law and Order experience. Did you get any text messages on this that jumped out at you, Jesse?
Nothing specifically about my involvement, I suppose. I put a couple of those up earlier. I do have one here. Don't have time to put it up on the video stream, but Mike and Kendall says, I think as long as Tausch didn't sell himself as a therapist, he could probably start a business advising people. He could put
life coach.
You could put an empty frame on the wall, call it Tausch's 2 cents. No diplomas needed. From Mike and Kendall.
That's not bad, Mike and Kendall. Is that Mike and Kendall or no, Mike in Kendall, Wisconsin?
In the city of Kendall. I do not know where that is.
Where's Kendall at? Let's get your defense attorney, buddy, and he's going to do trivia, geography. Let's see if he knows.
So, and I guess that's the other question I have, and we'll just ask this on the air here. I do have his number, the defense attorney, if we ever do want to have him on for anything in particular. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that we have an arsenal here available to us, and that we have potentially more content from our experience on this show.
Yeah. Jesse, I want to put a bow on this by saying thank you. You provided really good content, and you may have booked your first guest of 2025. So that's pretty doggone good on a lot of counts there. That's pretty good.
I would add, I'm really fascinated by your new buddy's job. I appreciate that he's supportive of the show. That seems like a really hard job. I'd be curious, when he went to law school, was he thinking, I would like to be a public defender? That seems like a largely thankless job where you get assigned cases that aren't necessarily glamorous or fun. I'm really curious about that job. And the system would not work without people like him. So to him, a sincere thank you for your service as well, because I am intrigued. I don't think that's another thing I couldn't do. So again, we will get to Packers now during the 11 o'clock hour, but we appreciate Jesse sharing.
Now, are we on
his
board
experience.
with? Are we on board with my plan? I tweeted out or text to you guys about running a little case study here, because let me tell you something. Rashad Bateman, who's a wideout for the Baltimore Ravens, just signed a new extension. 3 years at like 36, I think, is the number. And you talked to Bulaga about Romeo Doubs. I'm kind of interested in playing a fun little game here. Jesse as the juror, as the defendant, and I as the prosecutor, or we could flip it. It doesn't matter.
Wait, I'm not the defendant. We're not.
You're defending the case for Romeo Doubs to get a contract extension.
So I'm the defense attorney.
Yeah, different.
What I mean, it is what it is.
The defendant would be Romeo Doubs, I think, in this case.
No,
yeah, I'm arguing on his.
It's semantics, but yes.
It's something.
I don't think we've been particularly harsh on you today, and this is the second time you got annoyed with us. Specifically me.
When else did I get annoyed with you? I got annoyed with you earlier, because you were being a dink. You were being a dink, and I was annoyed. Yeah, that happens on this show. Get over it. Plenty of times I'm a dink, and you get upset. So
you leaned
get
back
over
in
it.
your chair and pouted. That's usually my move.
No, you shut me off, and that's fine. But then take over if you're going to do that, and that's fine. Go for it.
When he asked me about moderating things between you two, I think this is what he was talking about.
The American Family Insurance Championship returns to Madison. We're excited. We're going to be there tomorrow. Steve Stricker hosts the PGA Tour Champions event, June 6th through the 8th. I just saw Jordan Love going to be hanging around the media center. He's going to be around doing some stuff at the AmFam Champ. You got the concert tomorrow night. You got the big old shootout on Saturday afternoon. You got everything. It is one of our favorite days. And again, that is this weekend. We'll be there tomorrow through the 8th. Get details and ticket info at amfamchampionship.com.
I'll tell you about Behind the Bucks a little bit later in the program. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around, please.
Oh, it's by Mauston. Oh, I know where Mauston is. Kendall.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. No game for the Milwaukee Brewers today as they return home to host the San Diego Padres over the weekend at American Family Field. The Brewers were victorious in the series finale in Cincinnati yesterday afternoon. 9-1 the final, matching a high water mark for the Brewers this season. 5 games over 500 at 34-29. A half game back of the Cardinals for second place in the NL Central standings. 5 games back of the Cubs for the top spot in the division. Big series with the Cubs coming up in a week or two. Again, Brewers-Padres tomorrow night here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Tonight, Game 1 of the NBA Finals takes center stage. Oshkosh's Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers visiting the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30, tip just after 7:30 right here on Madison's home of the NBA Finals, 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app. Packers conversation on Wilde and Tausch next.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Okay. So Tausch will be arguing that the Packers should not.
Let me ask you this first, Jason. Yeah, let me ask you this before we get into jury and judge.
You were very eager to do this.
I was eager, but
and so now I start, and now you stop me.
Well, this is a democracy, even though I like to think I get 6 or 7 votes. I only get 1. And we saw the note from Adam Schefter about Bateman. And I don't even know what school did Bateman.
Played at Minnesota.
Is it Justine? What was his sister's name?
Yes, his sister Justine.
Family Ties?
Yes, Jason and Justine
Family
Bateman.
Ties, right?
Family Ties, yes, sir.
Great show. Is this Law and Order again? You see this deal, and I think we start talking about wide receivers, and everybody, I think, gets scared off a little bit because the salaries for Jay Jettis and for Jamar Chase, and they're big boy contracts. 40-plus. T. Higgins, right around 30. And you start wondering, well, what guy is Green Bay going to pay? And then you see Bateman, who I think is their second. Is he their 2 or 3 for Baltimore?
It's definitely not their 1. I'll have to look at their depth chart further.
Well, let's say he's like that 2-3, which I think a lot of us are probably looking at now with Golden in there and with Jaden Reed. I think the goal or what the Packers envision is 1-2, and then who's going to be 3, and who's going to be paid like Bateman. Romeo Doubs has got bigger fish to fry. You feel fairly confident about that. And when you discuss this with Bulaga, I see this deal, and I'm thinking to myself right now, if Romeo Doubs hadn't had the stuff happen, with the concussions, again, not his fault. The other thing, it is his fault. I know you can get into all of the other things. You have to address it, get in front of it, whatever the case may be. So would Green Bay want that? Would you as a fan want to have a Romeo Doubs locked up with a deal like that? And I would say yes. If this was the type of deal, if Romeo goes out and has another good year, if he's at that 60, 70 catches as a 2-3, I'm all right with that. And I have been kind of on the same side as what Blue was saying. I kind of want to move forward. I don't know if I can trust. There's just a lot of things that ramble through my head, too. But when I see deals like this kind of come through the pipeline, you look at it and I think you have to kind of reevaluate the pecking order of how this receiving corps is going to get paid.
So Rashad Bateman's contract is a little wonky because in 2023 he didn't report to training camp right away and he held out.
Okay.
Remember, he was a first-round pick, right? He was one of those guys that there were thoughts that maybe the Packers were going to take him in the 2021 draft, and they didn't. And so by doing that, he completely screwed up his timeline as a first-round pick. It made him ineligible for the fifth-year option.
So what happens then?
So last year he signed, because remember, he only played like 5 games in 2023. So last year he signs a 2-year extension worth only $12.8 million. So now he has this breakthrough season, and the reason why I think this is worth going into, because it's not a Ravens-centric show, but he kind of did something that derailed his earnings potential.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else did something that derailed their earnings potential? Romeo Doubs, right? And so he signed a 2-year, $12.8 million deal last year.
Okay.
And now he signs this extension. It makes up for, but it's still, it ain't. He's
Jason,
not
can
getting
you help me out on this?
Justin
So
Jefferson
he's a
money
first-
here.
Can you help me out on this? Because
6 games in it, he only caught 15 passes, or the 22 season, it appears, according to Pro Football Reference. So basically, listen to his numbers his first 3 seasons. As a rookie, 45 catches, 515 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Good start.
2022, he had some injury issues, it appears. 15 catches, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2023, when he did not report on time, and it messed up the 5th-year option, according to Jamison Hensley of ESPN, 32 catches, 367 yards, 1 touchdown. So his first 3 seasons are far inferior to Romeo Doubs' numbers.
Yes.
Last year, 45 catches, 756 yards, 9 touchdowns. So he had a big year last year, but he still, because of what he did previously, was not in position for a big payday, but wanted to get some guaranteed money. He gets $20 million guaranteed here. Does that help?
I'm just confused. Not really. I'm confused on what happens when you screw up and lose the 5th-year option. Shouldn't that then make you a free agent earlier at a 4th year? And why doesn't more rookies do that? Why wouldn't Micah Parsons screw up like that and force Dallas to pay him earlier? You get what I'm saying?
I don't know this for certain, but I am guessing that you become something of a restricted free agent or something. Again, I've not seen this happen before, and frankly, Jameson does not get into it extensively in his story on ESPN.
That will be interesting to find that out, because it doesn't happen often. Obviously, if you're going to get paid and picked up that 5th-year option, it means you're a really good player, typically. So my point on all of this was that this contract is below market value for a 1 or a 2. And the question is going to be Romeo Doubs, who I think it's going to be really, really interesting how he settles into this new receiving core. Because you're hearing all the right things. I think he's approaching it. He's talking about what he wants to talk about. I don't have any problem with any of that. And I think his rapport with Jordan Love is pretty good. I think they've had their connection and all that stuff. How this all plays out in a year where maybe he's having a good year and he's not getting any mentions or any talks with his representatives about staying on. How's he going to handle that? Is this something he would entertain? I would think not, because I'm guessing he views himself as a number 1 wideout. Stuff like this, when you see a contract like that come down, you start wondering, because Russ Ball looks at this and he's saying, okay,
seems like a pretty good bargain.
When that's the case, this might be something that we're looking to do. And then you do that, you're in essence saying deuces to Christian Watson, because there's only so many guys that you're going to give $10, $15 million a year to in that receiver room.
Yeah, I am very curious, too, about how this plays out, but I'm on Team Bulaga. I think that they want to get the most out of Romeo Doubs this season and get a nice compensatory pick for him. Or who knows, maybe we get to the trade deadline and Christian Watson is trending toward being ready to go sooner rather than later, despite my diagnosis and prognosis. Matthew Golden is balling out. Dontavion Wicks has taken a huge jump. Jaden Reed is playing really well. And they're getting some contributions from Savion Williams. And they're like, hey, we've got more wide receivers than we know what to do with. Let's get something for Rome now that'll be better than the compensatory pick we'll even get. Right? I don't know. I don't know what the future holds.
I guess you don't know. You don't know what he's going to get paid, so you don't know what his compensatory pick's going to be. But I do wonder if Pittsburgh, and there's been some other teams that it's been kind of rumored, if somebody comes and offers Goody right now a 4th-round pick for Romeo Doubs, is he still going to be at camp?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Let's play some trivia. Jesse, what's today's
third-round pick? Third-round pick?
Oh, third-round pick, he's gone.
Day 2? Yeah.
Yep, no doubt.
I
mean, he was a fourth-round pick.
I think fourth-round pick, he might be gone. They got 12 wideouts in the building, guys. And Watson will be starting on either PUP or IR. But Golden's locked, Williams locked, Reed locked, Wicks locked. I would say Doubs locked. That's 5. But that doesn't mean he's got to be locked. That doesn't mean it. If he's going to be the fifth wideout, he ain't going to be happy.
Well, he's on the first snap of team. He has been out there.
Yes.
He is a starter as of today. But things do change in this league frequently. Jesse, what's the category and what caller would you prefer?
I would like to apologize to you guys and Riley Yauk and the group yesterday for not providing Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia when I said I would.
We played Auburndale trivia instead.
I heard. And it tough for the contestant, good for everyone else.
I had 3.5 minutes to throw that together. I thought it was pretty darn good, actually.
It was. So, hand up, my bad. And to make up for it, we're doubling up on Wisconsin Geography trivia this week. I have some, I think, appropriately suited Wisconsin Geography Thursday trivia questions ready for us to go today.
And not only that, but we've got Big Voice Guy back, which is also good news, which maybe you weren't aware of. But
I was. I'm the one who did that.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
and thanks.
You're a Big Voice Guy now?
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Vortex Golf.
Rangefinders you can bet on. You can also bet that you'll find great content on the Bucks Plus Audio Network and especially on Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Whether it's the Damian Lillard story, the Brandon Jennings Bucks and 6 story, the Olympics and the experiences of Bucks players at that, or behind the scenes with the Giannis documentary, all kinds of great storytelling. You can find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Trivia is next. Caller.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know 11. If we said a caller number. Sorry.
Caller 11. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 11 plays trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether it's for an upcoming summer vacation, college tuition, in advance of a life-changing purchase, or just because you're financially responsible, everybody is always looking to save money. Well, you can save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch with Everlight Solar. Our family made the switch to solar after looking around for quite some time, and at first, we just weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
Dear Brewers fans, where do you find the best views and the most electrifying baseball action American Family Field has to offer? The answer is Toyota Territory, located in right field. This Grand Slam experience covers all the bases and gives fans in the stands an exclusive live look at our home run hitter, the Toyota Land Cruiser. Creating a lasting legacy, the Toyota Land Cruiser is seasoned to perform like your Milwaukee Brewers. Add Toyota to your lineup today. Now batting, Toyota.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker. It's a three. Got it! Dagger!
On June 26th at the Orpheum Theater, relive the excitement with the squad that made him believe. A special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky. The drop stab. That's his favorite. And the two.
Made him believe. Supported by Canopy Wealth Management, Celebrations Entertainment, and Feli's Flowers. Get your tickets today at uwhoops2015.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's at Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town. Lose my sense of time or two. Weeks feel like days, Medicaid in the afternoon.
Happy to have Big Voice Guy back, as we discovered, thanks to Jesse and his incredible efforts while he was also serving our community as a juror. Time now for trivia.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Let's welcome in our contestant. He is Matt in West Bend. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We are great.
Awesome.
Great to hear from you. The category is once again Wisconsin Geography Wednesday on a Thursday trivia. Tausch, what's your participation plan here?
Nothing.
Perfect. All right. Here we go. Question number one, Matt. It is this. Which of these Wisconsin cities is home to the university bringing home the 2025 Division III NCAA Baseball National Championship
I know
trophy?
it. I know this one. I got it.
Is it Whitewater, Eau Claire, or UW Auburndale?
Whitewater.
Indeed it is. Tom Clawwitter, former Major League Baseball pitcher, is on that staff there, if I recall correctly.
Matt Clawwitter.
Any relation?
No.
You got any other Clawwitters? Ronnie Clawwitter.
Who's Ronnie
Got nothing
Clawwood?
else? He's my old. I think he taught history, English. Ron Clawwood.
And then he opened a pop-up psychology shop later in his career. Question 2, Matt in West Bend, is this. Hypothetically,
Oh boy.
someone who works at the New Glarus Woods State Park is called for jury duty in Madison at the Dane County Courthouse. Which direction would that hypothetical person drive to the courthouse from work? All right, so you're going from the New Glarus Woods State Park to the Dane County Courthouse. Would you be driving southeast, northwest, or northeast? And I got to be honest, I have no idea.
What do you think, Tausch?
Wait a minute.
Tausch!
I was just going to say, I can't.
Wait a minute.
As much as I'd love to chime in, I can't do it.
If I know anything about the law, we need to wait for Tausch to share his answer until Matt is locked in.
I'll say northeast.
Northeast, you had a 33.3% chance.
Right?
I have northwest highlighted
Yep,
on my sheet.
I highlighted the wrong one. It is northeast. That is correct. Yep.
Well, you're back in mid-season form, Jesse.
I am sure that everybody that is I'm not even going to go down that road. I'm sure the jury and everything.
My God.
Details are. I'm not going to go down that road.
This is why I was not the foreperson, so I didn't accidentally highlight the wrong thing on the scorecard when we turned it in.
How does the jury find? We find the defendant not guilty. No, wait, we said guilty. What are you doing?
Just wait a second. I highlighted not guilty and actually was guilty.
Question 3, Matt. Let's just move on. Is this constructed in 1859? The oldest courthouse still in use. How did the first question have anything to do with the law?
It
or your
did. It was
experience?
just Whitewater won the national title yesterday. They deserve some
happy for
props. Yeah, Warhawks.
All right. Constructed in 1859, the oldest courthouse still in use in the state of Wisconsin is the county courthouse in which of these counties? Is it Columbia County, Iowa County, or Calumet County?
I'm going to go Columbia County.
Tausch?
Calumet.
Congratulations. Unless Jesse highlighted the wrong one again, you're both wrong. Iowa County is allegedly the correct answer. All right, Matt. So you got 2 out of 3. Based on my paperwork, you only got 1 out of 3, but luckily Jesse corrected that. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries into tomorrow's drawing, which Jesse may or may not remember to do if he may or may not remember to bring the Cheese Fry helmet of victory with him to the AmFam Championship. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, buddy, and we appreciate you playing, man.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
All right, love you guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch trivia for today. The New Glarus question was tough. I don't know I don't know directions very well, so I'm glad he got that one right.
It is southwest of Madison, which means you're driving northeast.
Definitely west of Madison, and I would say it's south as well. So, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're the cartographer on the panel. That, again, Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf Rangefinders. You can bet on the winner of this week's trivia drawing will receive a rangefinder and a swag bag from Vortex Golf. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
The greatest show on dirt is charging through Wisconsin. Saturday, June 7th, the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars invade Beaver Dam Raceway's grand finale for the Jim J.B. Boyd Memorial, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Then it's a Sunday special on June 8th when the Outlaws race to Angel Park for the first time since 2016. Gates open at 4 p.m. Tickets at slspromotions.com. Be there.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, DoorCountyDistillery.com.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is our crew.
12 stolen bases on the year. There he goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Is right on the back. They got him. Oh, wow.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
In case you haven't gotten enough of Jesse Nelson today, it's time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
on Wilde and Tausch.
It was 4 years ago today. Tausch was there. Jason wasn't. Happy anniversary.
Was Tausch at the wedding?
He was at the reception.
Thank you.
But he was present at the festivities.
Just want to make sure we're being factually accurate.
Congratulations to Becca and I on our, is this 1, 2, 3, 4th wedding anniversary.
You actually counted on the radio.
22, 3, 4, 25. Well, it's weird when you do anniversaries and stuff because, like, it's your 4th anniversary, but it's really like your 3rd anniversary because you're starting the year. But you don't. Never mind. It's our anniversary today.
I'm not bailing you out on this. Just
but
keep talking.
It is also our dog's birthday today.
Now that I can get behind.
Happy birthday to Mo. He turns 2 today. Big year for Mo. Once again, for the 2nd straight year, we are getting together to celebrate the dog's birthday with a few friends, taking him to the nitty-gritty to sit outside, and he gets a couple of dog things, and we get Coors Lights and have a great old time.
And ice cream, clearly, since you...
Yep. They're a partner. It's okay. What do you do to celebrate a pet's birthday? And I'd actually like to ask Tausch first as the non-dog owner.
Just ask Jason.
No, as a non-dog owner, what do
What'd you do for
deem
Grouch
to be appropriate to celebrate a pet's birthday?
This is not my purview. And, I mean, I could sit here and, when we had pets, we were on the farm. Cats did their thing. You guys have heard the stories of Grouch. I didn't need to, put cake and candles out for Grouch. Grouch would
have liked it.
Grouch made their own birthday. They got rats and mice and ducks. That's what pets do. As far as your dog, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Take some little kibby treats with you, or whatever they call that.
Kibby treats. We sing happy birthday. They have a little ice cream, doggy ice cream, or a cake, or sometimes they have to wear a hat.
Do you ever wrap gifts?
Yeah. Yep, we do. We're big celebrators in our house for birthdays and stuff. Not necessarily mine or Paula's, but we like to celebrate the girls' birthdays, pets' birthdays. Yep, for sure.
They like to go on vacation without you on your birthday. It's just stuff that happens. No big deal.
Whoa, Nelly!
I'm talking about Jesse. My family go on vacation without you?
My mom and dad, they are not on vacation, as far as I know, today.
So what are they going to... So do you expect them to celebrate your anniversary as big as you did their birthday?
No. I always think, like, an anniversary, I don't ever expect anyone else to wish us happy anniversary. It's nice when people do. But an anniversary is more like... when I was a kid, I never really, I knew when my parents' anniversary was, but, that's kind of their thing. That's always been my stance on anniversaries. I wouldn't necessarily go up to either of you guys and be like, hey, heard it's your anniversary today. Happy anniversary.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
and I'm all right with that.
IPT or not, but that's just kind of how your anniversary is special to you. Your birthday is special to everybody because they're celebrating that you exist. Your anniversary is, great. It was your wedding day, but it's more for you two to celebrate.
Okay.
So wait, so you were bothered by your parents not staying home from Las Vegas to celebrate your birthday, but as their only child, you didn't really think you had any role in congratulating them or celebrating their wedding anniversary?
Well, they also got married on Halloween, so I had candy to go get on there.
Fluky.
I got costumes to wear, and I got candy to go get, and plans to coordinate with my friends running around the neighborhood.
If you're doing a Halloween wedding, don't you have to dress up in Halloween costumes?
Yeah, you can go
That's
as
another good question.
Bride and groom.
Good one.
Whoa, Nelly!
I gotta say, for as strong as the storytelling was from the legal process. We're off to a rocky start to Whoa Nelly.
Clearly, I have a quota I should reach in airtime each day. NBA Finals start tonight.
In fairness, we've compared to where we were yesterday, our Brewer interrupted Whoa Joshies have been really bad. We've gotten into stuff that I had no clue how we even get into. And words I didn't even know. I had to Google and look up, and I'm like, what the hell are we talking about? So,
the NBA Finals begins tonight on ESPN Radio and, of course, on ABC, the ESPN app. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers Game 1. Official predictions for the series. Tausch, NBA Insider. Who you got and in how many?
Pacers in 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a contrary opinion to what the experts are suggesting because Oklahoma City has dominated thus far in the playoffs.
Who are the experts?
Windy.
It's not been a good decade for experts, let's put it that way. I like me being the expert. Me says Indiana in 6. How's that?
Badgers in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly!
Jason?
They didn't play in Milwaukee. What do you want me to do? They didn't put him in Milwaukee. They gave him a road game as a higher seed. I don't know. I can't control what the NCAA does.
Okay.
Hey, guys, great season. Go play a great 32 game on the road. Yeah, that's fair. We're going to give the 6th seed a bigger role. Yeah, smart. That's how it should be. Get out of here with that. Ruined a great season that Gardo and the boys put together. You make them go play out on the road. Come on, man.
Big rematch in November in Salt Lake, though, for those two. Also a road game. More neutral site than the NCAA tournament was, but still a road game.
You know what, Philly? You had a great season last year, but yeah, you got to come to Green Bay. No, we'll be nice to you. We'll play you in De Pere. We're not going to make you go all the way to Green Bay. We'll play you in De Pere. That's real fair. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Whoa, Nelly!
Jason, do you have any insights you want to share on the NBA Finals?
Nope.
All right.
Whoa,
we'll wrap things
Nelly!
up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Bucks.
In the landscape of today's NBA,
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
why would you be loyal to an organization? None of your peers are.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Wisconsin BYU squaring off November 21st, a grudge match of last season's adrenaline-filled round of 32 showdown. The face-off happening in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center, home of the Utah Jazz. Greg Gard calling that last meeting, quote, one of the best in the NCAA tournament. 2 games for Bucky on NBA courts next season. They'll face Oklahoma at Fiserv Forum for an October 24th exhibition. 2 great tests for Gard and the Badgers well before Big Ten play. Ticket info and more available at uwbadgers.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Here's to experiencing it all this summer in Wisconsin. Every deliciously cheesy, rockin', magical, fireworks-filled, festival-loving moment. There's Cheese Curd Fest in Ellsworth, Strawberry Fest in Cedarburg, Festival of the Arts in Stevens Point, and the Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Honor the Earth Powwow in Hayward, Mile of Music in Appleton, Venetian Fest, Bratfest, Summerfest. So many fests for your whole crew. Find them all at TravelWisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
We're on the Badgers.
The schedule, as we all know, it's very challenging, daunting, however you want to describe it.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He wants guys who want to jump at the opportunity to play against a schedule like that.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
So we've had a lot of fun today. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow as our annual journey to the AmFam Championship, albeit at a brand new course at TPC Wisconsin with a brand new format. I didn't realize that it was like throughout the entire tournament this was a team deal. I thought that was going to be like a quirky little thing they were doing for a day, and it was going to be a separate thing, like a tournament, like the play-in tournament or like the in-season tournament in the NBA. But no, teaming up, a dream team like the three of us. Jesse, did I hear this right? One of your fellow jurors called the show as the show is ending here?
That is correct. So I told you we might have 12 new fans as of yesterday. I made sure
12 angry people.
I told everybody before we left that we would for sure be talking about this today starting at 9 a.m.
And we did.
A few people wrote down where to listen, where to watch, and one of my fellow jurors has been actively watching on the YouTube stream and called in and said hi. And I asked, did I portray everything accurately? And the fellow juror said, yes, I had done so throughout the course of the day. So we got a new one with us.
Were they the ones from New Glarus?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if this person would be comfortable with me sharing anything, so I'm not going to answer any questions about them. Tausch.
Okay. Is there a chance you guys get together again? This group. Go grab a bite, grab a meal.
Watch Survivor together and judge the show or Dancing with the Stars.
So we're not going to have a reunion tour by any means. There are many. I would expect most of them I will never see again. I would give it a non-zero chance that I would see some of them again. How about that?
Bump into them at the farmer's market.
I mean, they all know where to find me, obviously. And
will you remember how many of the names of the 11 others do you remember?
Just remember their numbers.
I remember 4 or 5 of them right now.
Hey, Juror 6! How you been?
I will remember the 4 person's name. And the rest of the people, maybe one or two of them by a year from now, I would remember their names. But very, very great group of people. There were no major arguments. Great group of people. Couldn't ask for better.
Because they all liked you incredibly. All right,
and
that's
they
it for
let
us
you take
today.
home the pizza, so that was all you needed.
I did get the leftovers.
We will do it again tomorrow live from the AmFam Championship, so be sure to tune in whether you're a juror or a normal fan. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.